Hi, everybody. Let's just give everybody a little bit of time to get in here, and let me wait for the notification to go out because I don't think it has gone out yet. And then we'll get started. We're going to have fun tonight. This is another weird news edition, the monolith edition. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So just say hey when you get in here. Hi, Michelle. How are you? I hope everybody had an absolutely fantastic Turkey Day. Wherever you may have been. Hi, Mikey. How are you? We had a very good one. Hi, Mary Beth. How are you? So I hope you guys are ready for some silly shenanigans tonight. I found some really good ones, but we are going to talk about the monolith tonight. If any of you guys that are kind of keeping up with what's going on with that reappearing and disappearing monolith. Hi, Patricia. How are you? And please, guys, share. Sharing is caring. But we do like to dictate who sees this, not Facebook. And they just love every year to get a little bit harder and harder on the pages that people own because they want you to buy ads. So if you would please share. Hi, John. How are you? Would be greatly appreciated. Anybody that you know of that might be interested in our horrific little group. So definitely give it a share. Hi, Damon Bard. I hope you are feeling better. Hi, Dominic. How are you? So, oh my goodness, we've got a lot of people in here. Hi, Rebecca. How are you doing? I hope everybody has had a really, really great Thanksgiving. Hi, Tom. How are you? And so we'll go ahead and get started here in just a minute. I did want to take a little bit of time because, hi, Calvin. I think a lot of times when we're doing the shows, we're just so raring to get started because we really enjoy what we do. But I want to send out a really, really, really big thank you to Frank and Liz of Roots Bleed Red and the Random Show for everything they do here. They're co-owners of PBDC as well as Psychomantium 13, and they are one of the heartbeats of this collective, and they really put a lot into like what you're seeing right now. So we want to send out a really, really big thank you to them. It says, I'll watch, and that was Kisa. I'll watch it now. Hi, Odd Mother. Good. So we're going to get started here in just a minute. I also wanted to send out a big thank you. So Chaos and Squeaks over at Chaos and Squeaks Sideshow, Chaos Unright, they sent Odd Mother a gift. I have a Squeaks bracelet, Squeaks, but Odd Daughter stole it from me. She really, really liked it. Hi, Dizzy. So Dizzy is a new viewer here. We always love new victims here in the crypt. So let us know where you're from, and welcome, welcome, welcome. So normally for any new people, what Mother Delamort does is I usually do a lot of podcasts and live streams and things like that, more in the horror genre, high strangeness, urban legends, folklore, unsolved mysteries, that kind of thing. But every so often we'll take a stroll down the lane of weird news, and that's what we're doing tonight. We're doing the monolith edition. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about the actual monoliths. Have you guys been keeping up with these structures that have been popping up and then disappearing and reappearing and all that kind of jazz? Hi, Sheila. How are you? Well, sounding like a plot twist from a science fiction novel, a tall, silvery slice of metal about 10 feet high with an aura of strangeness about it was spotted in the Red Rock Canyons of the Utah desert. For you guys that may not know what's going on. And I imagine Dizzy does. Dizzy is from Utah. Amazing. Awesome. It says, and my 9-month-old Anastasia is watching. Hello. So glad to have you here. So talking about the first initial monolith that showed up, that was in the Utah desert. State employees were the ones who found it while surveying the land for bighorn sheep. Say that they have no idea who drove the slab of metal into the rock floor. There was a monolith, yes, and it has disappeared, and then it reappeared. So, and there was a reason for my Where's Waldo illustrations on our ad earlier today. And in the days since, the riddle of what it was and how it got there has proven irresistible. Some wonder if it was planted there by aliens. Others thought it might be a tribute to the monolith in the 2001 A Space Odyssey. But the most tantalizing speculation was that it might be the work of John McCracken. Now, John McCracken was a minimalist sculptor with an affinity for science fiction who died in 2011. You'll see the one that is inside. That was the one that was originally done. It's in actually a gallery by Mr. McCracken. And then, of course, the one that is in front of the rocks, that's the one that was found in the Utah desert. Now, the David Zwiner Gallery, which has exhibited the artist's work since 1997 and represents his estate, has asserted that the mystery monolith is a bona fide McCracken piece. Just one problem. If that indeed is the case, McCracken pulled it off without ever mentioning a word to his dealer or his friends. Now, most everyone in the art world is divided over whether the story is plausible or a larksome prank. And then Dizzy says, I'm going see Skywalker to go see, Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. You be very careful, Dizzy. That place is creepy. That place is creepy. Might be a Protus. I don't know, Keisha. I don't know. Now, the artist's son, Patrick McCracken, remains completely puzzled by the monolith. But when he heard the news, he thought back to an evening in May of 2002 when his father was living in Medanells, New Mexico, in a small adobe house overlooking the mesa. We were standing outside looking at the stars, and he said something to the effect of that he would like to leave his artwork in a remote place to be discovered later, he recalls in a phone interview. Did he think his father was joking? No, I thought it was something that he would do, he said. He was inspired by the idea of alien visitors leaving objects that resembled his work, or that has worked reassembled, or that resembles his work, basically. The discovery of a monolith piece that's very much in line with his artistic vision. A photographer who lives in San Francisco, the younger McCracken added, he wasn't your average sort of dad. He believed in advanced alien races that were able to visit Earth. To his mind, these aliens had been visiting Earth for a very long time, and they were not malevolent. They wanted to help humanity to get past this time of our evolution where all we do is fight each other. McCracken, who was born in Berkeley, California, the son of a rancher, was a memorable character. An avid reader of science fiction, he believed in time travel and extraterrestrial life. He was a friend of the actor Leonard Nimoy, who was also a collector of McCracken's work. Now, John McCracken, however, died of a brain tumor in 1976 and was known best for his glossy resin planks, like geometric sculptures. His otherworldly passions were hardly a guarantee of the authenticity of the sculpture, and it is possible the piece was created by a non-sculptor. You can narrow the pool of candidates to the very least, the millions of viewers enamored of 2001 Space Odyssey, which was, of course, a Stanley Kubrick film in 1968. The film, of course, features its own Huronic monolith, a gleaming black structure that spawns evolutionary leaps. So that particular one would actually spawn evolutionary leaps. When the apes encounter it and see their first straight lines and straight angles, they begin using tools and undergo a transformation into intelligent beings. Now, Ed Ruscha, who is known for his text scribbled paintings and is probably the dean of California art scene, befriended McCracken during the years when he was living in Los Angeles. He says, I don't think that it's a John McCracken. It is unlike him to be a trickster of to someone. A monolith in the desert, it is so universal that it could be anybody. It's very sci-fi to come across something like that. I like the idea of someone having fun. So how do you prove that a chunk of metal in the desert is in fact the work of McCracken? Never mind that no one besides Utah public safety agents has seen the monolith in person. Now, this was back when it first appeared. A more relevant and reliable form of authenticity must wait the gathering of information about the sculpture's installation. It would be useful to learn who exactly transported the metal object to Utah, drilled through red rock to plant it in the ground, and perhaps laid a cement foundation beneath it. Now, before they could do that, however, the mystery monolith disappears from the Utah desert. The account of the object's removal came from a Colorado photographer who said that he was at the site late Friday. Ross Bernard, who also works as a canyoneer guide, told Salt Lake City TV station Fox 13 that he was amongst a group taking photos of the monolith in the moonlight when 4 men arrived. One of them said, "Hope you got your photos." And then they pushed on the 11-foot tall metal sculpture until it fell over. They broke it down, loaded the pieces into a wheelbarrow, and trundled it away, he said. Their motivation was apparently to prevent further despoilment of the area by the crowds who had made the trek to the monolith since its coordinates were reported early last week. Bernard's quoted one of them saying, this is of the gentleman that tore it down, "This is why you don't leave trash in the desert." And as they walked away, another one said, "Leave no trace." Now, after disappearing from the Utah desert, a new monolith is now standing in Romania. Some seriously freaky shit is going on. Last week, state officials in Utah stumbled upon a mysterious shiny monolith in the middle of the desert. 5 days later, it suddenly disappeared. Now, a nearly identical sculpture has been spotted roughly 6,000 miles across the ocean in Romania. When the first monolith was initially found, there were a couple of running theories from who could be behind it, and that would be, of course, whether it was some fan of the 2001 Space Odyssey, or again, if it could have been the sci-fi fan and sculptor John McCracken. Now, of course, no one from McCracken's orbit has proven any confirmation, as it is now disappeared. However, because Kraken died of a brain tumor before this happened, and according to the prodigious Google Earth sleuths who spoke to Vice, the Utah monument was only installed about 5 years ago, after the artist's death. But even if McCracken did enlist someone to install the first monolith, why is it suddenly gone? And who installed the new one in Romania just a couple of days later? Nobody has any idea. According to the Daily Mail, the new structure is planted just a few feet from where an ancient Dakin fortress once stood, and it faces towards one side of Mount Chianlu. Probably didn't pronounce that correctly. A popular hiking destination in Romania. At 13 feet tall, it's almost the exact height of the now missing Utah variant, which stood at this particular news outlet says 12 feet. But this one has all sorts of scribbles drawn or etched into the reflective surface. Then the mysterious monolith vanishes in Romania. Alien action or local prank? In Bucharest, a shiny metal monolith vanished on Tuesday from Romania's mountainous Nymph County 4 days after its sudden appearance close to a ancient Dakin fortress sparked speculation it may be related to a mysterious structure seen in the United States. A similar alien-looking pillar was spotted in Utah About 2 weeks ago, it disappeared after generating much excitement internationally among science fiction fans. Now all that remains is just a small hole covered by rocky soil. Local reporters had discovered, he said, speaking of the reporter. So that is the hubbub on all you monolith followers. So we will see if it will pop up again here shortly. So let's see what's going on in the chat real quick. I wanted to cover that because I had a couple of people ask about that. So we wanted to cover that first before we really get to the silly news. Yes, so Keisha said with unique patterns. It actually, I saw a picture of it. You can find pictures on Google. It almost looks like if you've ever used like a wheel sander, it's what it actually looks like. The weird little scribbles and stuff like that. Let's see. So Dizzy says there's lots of things that go on in Utah, like Skinwalker Ranch. I honestly believe this monolith is more alien than human. Yeah, the first one was very it was very reminiscent of kind of the Stanley Kubrick 2001 Odyssey monolith. Other than that one was black, of course, but it really was. I thought it was neat. I like when things like that happen, even if it was a prank. I love those kind of pranks. Hi, Maud. How are you? Hi, Angie. So Angie says, has anyone seen the movie Signs? Yes, and I actually love that one. If you're talking about the one by M. Night Shyamalan, I really Shyamalan Ding Dong. Yeah, I really like that movie. It's a good one. But you know, his movies are kind of hit or miss. They're either really good or just really not good, in my opinion. But that was a good one. Let's see. Yeah, it was. So Keisha said this one was black. It did have more of a black tone to it, but it still looked like it was made out of something like sterling silver. I mean, like some sort of silver or stainless steel or something like that. Hi, Mark. How are you? Says, I'm pretty sure Wile E. Coyote installed one in Utah. Possibly. I would have been very curious to see if maybe on the backside it might have said like Acme Monoliths, because that would be a dead ringer right there. And then Liz says, sort of look like Damocus steel. It looked like whoever did that first one really put a lot of time and effort and possibly money into it. So yeah, it was really cool. So okay, let's get to some of the more silly stuff here. And so now we're going to kind of take a delve into some animal news. So and some of these, and this will be one of them, and it's quick. If you have small children in the room, this may not be one you want them to hear. So it's called 3 Men and a Dozen Farm Animals. So Noah's Ark met Caligula when 3 Ohio men, with the help of a teenage boy, sexually assaulted nearly a dozen farm animals and an unspecified number of dogs. There you go. Matthew Brubaker, 33, Mark Miskinoff, 35, and Terry Wallace, 41, were all sentenced to prison in April for the bizarre brand of animal husbandry. The twisted trio did appear to have one standard: all victims must be female animals. So there's your little bit of odd animal news. And not to we'll go ahead and top that one. Do not let moose lick your car. Now, November 23rd, this is by the news agency UPI, officials in Canada in a Canadian town are posting signs with a very important instruction for local drivers. Do not let moose lick your car. The signs posted in Jasper, Alberta, ask drivers to keep their vehicles at a safe distance from moose to make sure the animals don't get a taste for the road salt that inevitably ends up covering the sides of the cars driving through the alpine town. They're obsessed with the salt. It's one of the things they need for the minerals in their body. Jasper National Park spokesman Steve Young told CNN. They usually get it from salt lakes in the park, but now they realize they can also get road salt that splashes onto cars. Young said letting moose discover that they can get salt from licking vehicles causes the animals to lose their fear of cars, which of course can lead to dangerous incidences on the road. And in other news, deer steals hunter's gun, flees into woods. On November 25th, also reported by UPI News, a hunter in the Czech Republic was charged by a deer that snagged the man's gun on its antlers and fled into the woods with the weapon, police said. Police in the southern Bohemian region said a hunter contacted authorities to recount the story of how he lost his gun while hunting near the village of Horny Palan. The man said one of the hunting dogs in his group startled the stag in a wooded area, causing the panicked deer to run directly towards him. The deer's antlers ripped the man's sleeve and ended up snagging on his .22 Hornet rifle, which had been slung over his left hand at the time, which really makes me wonder, you got to get really close, wouldn't you, to shoot a deer with a .22, I guess. I don't know. The animal ran off into the woods with the hunter's unloaded gun still attached to its antlers, the man told police. Police said another hunter then reported spotting a deer with a rifle dangling from its antlers more than half a mile from the scene. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Yes, a deer stole my gun. Hi, Raven. How are you? Actually, we're just getting started, so you are not late at all. So Dizzy says, Bambi is pissed. The hunter becomes the hunted. Yeah. That deer Turk, man, my gun. Run, Bambi, run. There you go. All right, so now we're going to talk about some stupid human news. And some of you may have seen this, but I had to include it because I just think it's quite hilarious. School asked parents to stop throwing late students over closed gate. I'll wait for you to pick the picture up because it is absolutely hilarious. November 13th, UPI News reports an elementary school in France put a pair of posters outside their fence with an unusual request for parents. Don't throw late students over the closed gate. The Trinidad school in Avignon put up signs outside its gate showing a cartoon of a parent sending a small child airborne to get over the fence. The text on the sign asked parents not to throw their children and instead wait for the gates to again open at either 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. Principal Sana Mezzanine told La Province that parents literally were throwing their children over the gate when they arrived to find it closed. Mezzanine said there were only a few scattered incidences, however, and thankfully no reported injuries. But there were enough tossed children to inspire school officials to take action and post the warning as a reminder. Please don't throw your children over fences. Like that really has to be said. Oh my goodness. So, I'm sorry. Let's see what's going on here. Oh. So Keisha says, get your kid there on time. Just catapult them. Oh, is Chaos in the house? Hey, Chaos. I showed everybody my bracelet. Our daughter stole Squeaks' bracelet. So she has that one. But thank you, thank you, thank you. And we also got a sticker from them. So it was very awesome. I will put it with my sticker collection. Yeah, exactly. Hope they had a parachute. Oh my goodness. They needed a sign. No yeeting, no yeeting zone. Hold on, Junior. This will only take a second. You'll be fine. Oh my goodness. Hey, Kelly. All right, so now this is interesting. This isn't really, well, it is weird news, but it's more on the scientific side because this actually came from NASA. And I thought you guys would find it interesting. So Liz said, if we can't throw them, can we use a pulley system? Oh my God. All right, so possible signs of life right next door to Earth on Venus. Hi, Christina. The images used to create this view of Venus were acquired by the Mariner 10 craft on February 7th and 8th of 1974. So you don't have the pictures, but you know what Venus looks like. If you don't, you can Google it really quick. Decades after the Mariner 2 flew by the planet in 1962, much about the planet remains unknown. Scientists say they've detected a gas in the clouds of Venus that on Earth is produced only by microbial life. The researchers have racked their brains trying to understand why this toxic gas, phosphine, is there in such quantities, but they can't think of any geological or chemical explanation. The mystery raises the astounding possibility that Venus, the planet that comes closest to Earth, is, as it whizzes around the sun, might have some kind of life flourishing more than 30 miles up in its yellow, hazy clouds. Nothing could live on what passes for land on Venus. Its smooth volcanic plains are a scorching hellscape hot enough to melt lead, where the temperature exceeds 800 degrees Fahrenheit. High in the clouds, however, the pressures and the temperatures and acidity levels would be less intense, though still very vile. The clouds are far more acidic than any environments where microbial make their home on Earth. And instead of water, the clouds on Venus contain droplets of concentrated sulfuric acid. The atmosphere is so, just so absent of water that it's many, many times drier than the driest desert on Earth. All in all, it seems an unlikely place for life. Nonetheless, the new report in the Journal of Natural Astronomy has astrobiologists and planetary scientists talking. Two different telescopes at two different times looked at Venus and saw the chemical signatures that is unique to phosphine. If the gas is really there, Venus has either got some kind of geological or chemical activity going on that no one understands, or alien life might truly live next door. So I thought that was kind of cool. It sounds like a horrific place to live if you're a microbial, but I thought that that was really, really cool. So let's see what's going on in the chats real quick. Hi, Alan. How are you? So let's see. Hi, Alan. Yes, the Batman Returns. And then Mark says, I can't get over the tossing of children over the fence. This needs to be researched further and definitely funded. Oh my goodness. Remind me to go visit Venus. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to. I really don't. I don't think you'd last long. It'd be a very, very short vacation. So Dizzy says, well, it's official. I'll be watching you when you pop up. I love this. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's move on. So this one is, I don't know, for our hummus lovers, you may actually enjoy this. For the hummus fans, be on the lookout for 6,150 pounds of missing chickpeas. NPR's Scott Simmons highlights the case of the missing chickpeas. A restaurant in Washington, D.C. says its latest shipment is missing. Imagine the distress call, says Simon. I want to report some missing chickpeas, like about 6,150 pounds. The company by the name of Little Sesame, a hot and fast casual restaurant in Washington, D.C., says their latest shipment from a chickpea farmer in Montana named Casey Bailey is missing. UPS says the chickpeas arrived in town on February 24th, but never made it to Little Sesame. You'd think half a truckload could be something that would be hard to misplace, the restaurant co-owner Nick Wiseman told City Paper, which calls the whole caper the Garbanzo Gate affair. The restaurant will run out of Casey Bailey's celebrated chickpeas next week and will have to bring them in from elsewhere. He only grows a certain amount a year, and we're his only direct buyer, Nick Weissman explained. Anyone who finds 6,150 pounds of chickpeas will be rewarded with 1 year of free hummus. Maybe they didn't remember the password. Open sesame. There you go. Of course, if you think about it, though, the best way to hide 6,150 pounds of chickpeas might just be to mash them into hummus. And this one, going out to parents, this is going to be another one you may want to cover gentle ears. The Australian village of fucking tweaks its name and changes it to fugging. This was reported November 26 of 2020. Vienna, the Austrian village of fucking is changing its name. The mayor of the municipality where it is located said on Thursday after residents apparently grew tired of the sniggers that prompted in the English-speaking world and of visitors stealing their signs. The village, part of the municipality of the Torsdorf, north of Salzburg and near the German border, has long been a figure of fun in English-speaking media, which have gleefully reported local news and signs being removed. In 2018, the pornographic website Pornhub said it was offering free premium access to residents of fucking and to towns with names such as Tits, Germany, or Big Beaver, Pennsylvania, in the United States. I am confirming that it has, in fact, been decided by the local council. I will not say any more about it, Tarsdorf mayor told Reuters. The decision was also posted on the council's website. As of January 1st, the village will be called Fugging, the official statement said, adding that the initiative has been brought by the residents of the village. So there you go. Yes, and Intercourse, Pennsylvania. There you go. I think we have a do we have an Intercourse? No, we don't have an Intercourse, Georgia. I'm thinking of something else. Good day, mates. We have a lot of fucking late students. Oh, and it only gets better. Man mauled by leopard in backyard zoo offering full contact experience. This reported October 30th of 2020. A Florida man who paid $150 for a full contact experience at a backyard zoo with a black leopard said he had to undergo multiple surgeries after he was mauled by the fully grown animal in an enclosure behind the home, wildlife officials say. A picture obtained by Local 10 News shows Dwight Turner's heavily bandaged head and ear after the savage attack, which detectives from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission say happened at sometime on August 31st. The man who lives in the home has been identified as Michael Poggi, who has a Facebook page saying he runs an animal sanctuary for rare and endangered animals. Authorities say Poggi was charged with allowing full contact with an extremely dangerous animal and was cited for maintaining captive wildlife in an unsafe condition. Investigators say Pogge charged the 50-year-old man, Turner, 150 for a full contact experience with his the Florida man strikes again, with his black leopard to play with, rub its belly, and take pictures. A wildlife reporter says once Turner walked inside the enclosure, the leopard attacked. The injuries were so severe, the reporter says, the victim's scalp was hanging from his head and his right ear was torn in half. Pogge says authorities was licensed to have the leopard. They say Pogge admitted to them that what he did was illegal. Turner's attorney says the entire experience was illegal, meaning any waiver his client may have signed before the experience would be void. The attorney says Turner spent a week in the emergency room for his injuries. I think Turner needs to be charged with stupidity too. I'm sorry. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh, Jesus Christ. Exactly, Alan. Oh, good grief. What a blockhead. And then Alice says, boy, I thought sometimes I could be really dumb. Really take the cake to the world. We'll pay $150 to play with a full-grown dangerous Black Panther. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. Oh my goodness. Whew. That was a good one. That was a good one. And in further news, cop killed by rooster during a raid on illegal cockfighting. This happened October 30th of 2020. A police officer in the Philippines was killed during a raid on an illegal cockfight den after a rooster's blade sliced his femoral artery, an official said Tuesday. Cockfighting is a popular blood sport in the, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, this area in the Philippines, where bets are made on the fight's outcome, which often result in death among the combatants, which it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Between two colorful birds armed with bladed spurs. Because of the pandemic, cockfighting, along with other sporting and cultural events, has been banned to prevent large crowds from gathering and spreading the contagion. Monday's freak accident in the central province of northern Samar happened when Lieutenant Christian Bullock picked up a fighting rooster as he gathered evidence from the unlawful event. Its razor-sharp spurs attached to the bird's leg struck the officer's left thigh, and he bled to death, Providence Police Chief Colonel Arnel Abdut told AFP, according to the New York Times. It was an unfortunate accident and a piece of bad luck that I cannot explain, Abdut said. I could not believe it when it was first reported to me. This was the first time in my 25 years as a policeman that I have lost a man due to a fighting cockspur. There was a commotion. The spectators scrambled away, and then when the dust cleared, Officer Bullock tried to pick up one of the birds, but he didn't notice that it still had a bladed spur on, added Abdut. The officer was a 13-year veteran of the force and a father of three. 3 people were arrested and 2 fighting roosters seized, along with 2 sets of spurs in the raid in San Jose town, where Bullock was the police, said the police chief, Abdut. So there you go. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Yeah, ouch, exactly. So Mark said, I just found out cockfighting was done with roosters. I trained 8 months for nothing. Yeah, it is really sad for the kids. It really, really is. And those, they're just like people, that sadly, fight dogs. I mean, the animals are probably so scarred they're going to attack anything that even tries to come near them. So it was sad, but it does have a bit of dark humor to it. So I definitely had to add it in there. So, all right, this is going to be this is dedicated to Mark Zuckerberg. Sexualized onions. Facebook lifts ban on Newfoundland's company ad for seeds, October 7th of 2020. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not a sexualized onion. We'll get to that one shortly. The seed company by E.W. Gaze shared the image on their Facebook page of their ad, which was originally deemed overly sexual by Facebook. St. John NL, I guess, was actually like the news paper. Blah, blah. Facebook has reversed its decision to prevent a seed company in Newfoundland from using a photo of a pile of onions, which the social media giant had deemed overly sexual. Jackson McLean, the manager of the Gaze Seed Company in St. John's, said Facebook approved the online advertisement on Wednesday after he asked for a review of the band. McLean said he was setting up ads for the onions when he got an error response back from the site. A couple of them came back with errors, and I looked into it further to see what the error was. And for the onion photo, it said it was overly sexual, he said. McLean said there was nothing sexual about the ad for the Walla Walla sweet onion seeds, and the photo on the package showing several whole onions piled in a wicker basket and a few sticking sliced onions in the foreground. There was something about the round shapes being next to each other that set off some of the triggers, he said. McLean thought it was funny and decided to post a couple of screenshots. I knew that our Facebook audience would get a kick out of it as well, McLean said. There you go. There's somebody. He said the other error that popped up was for little marble peas, which were flagged as promoting alcohol consumption. McLean said that while he actually hadn't heard anything back from Facebook, he figured the problem could lie with the algorithm. They might have to do some tweaking there because there is nothing about the peas that has anything to do with alcohol. Stupid Facebook. All right. Dentist sentenced to 12 years in jail for extracting tooth while on hoverboard. This was September 17th, 2020. An Alaskan dentist known for running afoul of the law has been sentenced to 12 years in jail for various misdemeanors that include extracting a patient's tooth while riding a hoverboard. Seth Lukehart was sentenced in Anchorage Superior Court on dozens of charges stemming from actions that ranged from his scooting antics to Medicaid fraud and removing a patient's teeth without their permission, reported the Anchorage Daily News. Back in January, he was convicted on charges of reckless endangerment, illegally practicing dentistry, and medical assistance fraud. The court heard testimony from patient Veronica Wilheim, who was sedated when Lookhart was recorded performing her tooth extraction on a hoverboard on July of 2016. In the cell phone video, Lookhart is seen riding away from the procedure with his hands triumphantly in the air. He allegedly texted a video of the stunt to at least 8 people, joking that this was the new standard of care, NBC News reported. Lookhart, who had his dental license suspended in 2017, also was ordered by the judge not to practice medicine during his 10-year probation once his release from prison either, the Anchorage Daily News reported. It's out. I was a success. Yeah. But what are you in for? Well, I'm a dentist. I took a person's teeth illegally. Could you imagine that? What if you woke up and all your teeth were gone? That would be awful. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't know they had real hoverboards. Well, I'm assuming, John, that it was probably those kind on wheels. Um, I've got to look for that video, though. I've got to look for that video. That does sound funny. Probably not so funny for the patients. But yeah, I think that's pretty hilarious. So Mark says 12 years of extracting a tooth on a hoverboard. I guess delivering a baby while on a skateboard would get you the chair. Well, apparently it sounds like he was not new to the legal system for his shenanigans. Um, he just didn't know. He just didn't know when to stop. Is what it sounded like to me. Oh my goodness. All right. So we are ready for that picture. That's a brain. Man makes mindful discovery on the beach. September 27th, I'm sorry, September 17th of 2020. Wisconsin man Jimmy Cinda found what was believed to be a brain on a beach. It's a discovery that will make any zombie salivate. But for one Wisconsin beachcomber, it wasn't something he had in mind. Oh, hold on just a second. While walking along the sandy shore of Samuel Myers Park Beach in Racy, Wisconsin on Tuesday, Jimmy Cinda stumbled upon a strange package wrapped in aluminum foil and a rubber band. Upon closer inspection, what Cinda found was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. It didn't register as a human brain. I was just like, what is this? Cinda told news outlet Fox 6 Now. Upon unraveling the round package, Cinda thought its contents looked like a chicken breast. It took him a few moments to register that he was holding what appeared to be the brain, along with some flowers and Chinese currency. Befuddled, Cinda said he asked some city workers nearby for a second opinion on the discovery. They confirmed his suspicions. They're like, yep, that's the brain, said Cinda, who also said he got the same response when he asked the police. Cinda posted pictures of his mindful findings on Facebook, which elicited a mixed response. One said, nasty shit. I would have freaked out if I found this. Probably would have gotten sick too. Another writes, that's definitely a brain. Could be some kind of gang ritual. Then one noted a possible reasoning behind the flowers and the money found with the brain. The money is the offering. The flowers are for the dead, the person wrote. The money wrapped around it looks like banknotes for the dead in Chinese culture. Another weighed in. It's a pig brain. Look how small it is in your hand, Jim, one wrote. Authorities told Fox 6 News Now they don't believe the brain is human and are currently awaiting official confirmation from the local county medical examiner's office. Yep, that's a brain. So Frank says, so quick story, Odd Mama and me are doing show prep. She sent me the pic she wanted to show. I looked through them, and after 20 minutes, I got back to her and said, are we talking about a burrito fleshlight? Nope, we're talking about a brain. That's the brain. A mindful experience. Oh. All right. Let's see. We've got just a few more to go. So I know we're running over just a little bit. Let's see how much. Where are we at? Yeah, we're going to run over just a wee bit. So man walking dog knocked unconscious by falling feline. August 17th of 2020, a man casually walking with his pet dog in China was captured on video unwittingly being cold-cocked by a falling cat. In the 45-second CCTV footage, which had attracted more than 160,000 views on YouTube as of early Monday afternoon, a man named Gayo is seen going for a stroll with his golden retriever in Harbin, China. Local media outlet The Paper reports. Out of nowhere, a black and white cat drops out of the sky and hits the man on the head, causing him to collapse to the sidewalk unconscious. According to the reports, the feline belonged to his elderly neighbor and had fallen from his balcony. Several bystanders can be seen walking past Gayo's prone body before his dog approaches to see what went awry. The canine then spots the alleged assailant lurking by a building and lunges at it, barking. The dog and the kitty are then seen engaging in an intense stare down before the camera cuts back to the victim. According to the UK Sun, the cat-induced knockout caused the man to spend 23 days in the hospital. He continues to sport a neck brace and is undergoing physical therapy. Gayo is seeking compensation from his neighbor. So watch out for those falling felines. See what's going on in the comments. Yeah, Monica, I think it was a pig brain, to be honest with you. It's raining kitty wee. Can we go see the rain regularly? Yeah. Right? Oh my God. Exactly, Keisha. Exactly. That one packs a punch. All right. Now we're going to move over to where are we at? We're in England now. Man feared dead for 5 years, discovered in dense undergrowth. Reported August 5th of 2020. A Lithuanian man at the center of a murder investigation in Britain has been found alive after he went missing nearly 5 years ago. Richards was last seen on September 5th of 2015 working his shift at a food production company in Chatteris, England. He was discovered living in a heavily wooded area some 27 kilometers away from his place of employment. The Cambridgeshire constable said Richards was found on July 1st near the town of Winsbeck. In order to protect him and put safeguard measures in place, authorities waited until now to reveal his whereabouts. Richards was living in a dense undergrowth that had been very well concealed after having not spoken with anyone for a long time, according to the police. For almost 5 years, Richards' disappearance has been a complete mystery. That was until we received information at the end of June, which led us to find him, Detective Chief Inspector Rob Hall, Major Crime Unit said in a statement. He is safe, and we are working very closely with him to ensure he remains safe, but also to ensure he gets the support he needs after having lived through such an extremely difficult circumstances during the last 5 years or more. Authorities said initial concerns for Richard's safety were raised a month before his disappearance when it was suggested to police he was being exploited and had moved addresses within Wiesbeck. Richards was believed to be in the company of a small group of Lithuanian men after he was last seen seen reporting to work, according to police. I'm sorry, that reminds me of something off Monty Python. It's like the guy that looks like a bush. I will go live in the dense underground, undergrowth. That's hilarious. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, exactly. He was living like a hobbit. Let's see. And then Al says, I know I could be a hermit sometimes, but boy, oh boy, that really takes the cake on being a true hermit. I don't think I could live without my TV. And what exactly is dense undergrowth? When I think of dense undergrowth, being here from the South, I think of like a kudzu patch, like one of the worst places you would probably want to spend 5 years. And why are they so worried about protecting him? I mean, like, does he know where Jimmy Hoffa is? I mean, it seems so ridiculous. But yeah, he was found in some heavy undergrowth, not too terribly far from where he worked. After 5 years, of course. All right, so this one is called Melon Heads. May 25th, 2020. A bunch of melon heads allegedly robbed a convenience store in Lusa, Virginia, early this month. According to the Lusa Police Department, one person was arrested, and they're on the lookout for a second after two people allegedly stole from a Sheetz convenience store wearing hollowed-out watermelons on their heads as a disguise. News outlet Wavy reported 2 individuals drove to the store in a black Toyota Tacoma on May 5th, wearing the watermelons on their heads, with eyes conveniently cut out, of course. The duo entered the Sheetz convenience store where they allegedly robbed it. The cops eventually caught one of the suspects, 20-year-old Justin M. Rogers, who was charged with wearing a mask in public while committing larceny, underage possession of alcohol, and petty larceny of alcohol. His melon-wearing cohort is still on the lam. Authorities are working hard to identify him. Sheetz convenience store customers couldn't believe the suspect's disguises. And this is of one of the patrons. Well, I was like, at a time like this, you could have worn any kind of mask, but to come up with a watermelon, customer Barry Welch told Wavy. But it wasn't super shocking being out here in Lusa. We've always got some sort of crazy news stories going around. I definitely give them some points for ingenuity. Why, says another one. Why would they do that? It's so stupid, says customer Candace Wint. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask, make up your mind. And coming to a close, but of course, just in time for Christmas. Everybody, if you're ready, this needs to go on your list. Fried chicken smelling fire logs. It can be yours, courtesy of KFC. This was reported October 28th of 2020. Those looking to spice up their holiday season can turn it to a quirky alternative by adding a fried chicken scented fire log as part of a KFC initiative that has proven to be quite a hit. The 11 herbs and spices fire log is made in partnership with EnviroLog, an environmentally conscious consumer products and recycling company based here in Georgia. During the past 2 years, when the chicken scented fire log was launched, it sold out completely. Last year, according to Fox Business Report, the product sold out within 3 hours of its launch. For now, it's only available in the U.S. exclusively at Walmart for $15.88, while supplies last, of course. But KFC plans to unveil the product in Canada although no date has been announced. Amid speculation, it will be available for the first time north of the border in the coming weeks. So there you go. Everybody needs a fried chicken smelling log. And then Frank says, I'd buy them and burn them on my living room floor. It would make a quirky gag gift. It would make a quirky Christmas gag gift. And last but not least, the metaphor for 2020. The Rockefeller Center scraggly Christmas tree has been mocked. Reported November 9th of 2020. It seems inevitable for a year in which so little has gone well that something would be awry with the Rockefeller Center's tree, an annual source of holiday joy. On Saturday, the 22-meter tall, which is 75 feet, tree from Oneida, New York, arrived at its yearly home in front of 30 Rockefeller Plaza. As a crane lowered it into place, the Norway spruce looked a little worse for wear. The bottom limbs appeared to be bare, and its needles hung limply, like the tree had just climbed out of the shower. Meanwhile, it leaned to its side as if unsteady on its trunk. Much as that photo became, I'm sorry. So in true 2020 form, the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree looks like it tried to cut its own hair, tweeted pianist Chris Ryan. Another states the Rockefeller Christmas tree, just like the rest of us, has really been through things this year, quipped UX designer Brett S. Vengar. And another quoted, or mocked, I should say, even the Rockefeller Center's Christmas tree is tired of 2020, tweeted political scientist Ian Bremer. It was called a metaphor for 2020 compared to the apocalypse we're living in and deemed just about what I'd expect out of 2020 tree. The 2020 Rockefeller Center Christmas tree looks like one of those really old tree people in The Lord of the Rings that just wandered off into the forest to die, tweeted New York Times journalist Liam Stack. The end. So I hope you enjoyed that. I thought those were hilarious. I could have kept going. Oh my God. I just kept finding more and more. No mocking of the tree from Governor Cuomo. That's the 2020 tree. Like most of us, that tree has been exactly and put away wet. Well, thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And we all need a good laugh. We all need a good laugh coming off, hopefully, what was a very good Thanksgiving for everyone out there. But I just thought that these were hilarious. Well, thank you. Thank you, Stray Hair. Let's see. It just needs a little love. Oh, did they? Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Let me pop out of here so I can see what they cut it in. Yep, exactly. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We will be back next Wednesday, probably more in our traditional fare. Not sure what my subject will be yet, but we will get that posted for you guys. I will be putting out a schedule soon. We've got a lot of new content artists that have come aboard that we're so super excited about, and trying to kind of get everybody squared away. So we'll go ahead and be posting that schedule soon, and that'll help, any of the newcomers, and even some of our seasoned followers and things like that, to keep up with what's going on. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. But it looks like, let's see, tomorrow night, we're going to have Stray Hair. They are on the first Thursday of every month. That is an amazing band. And they will be on, I believe, around 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, or 7:30 Central Time. 7:30 Central Time. And they usually play for about 45 minutes, an hour. So you need to catch them. They're very, very good. And then after that, Do we have something else set up for tomorrow night, Mod? We'll get it advertised. We'll get it advertised if we do. But I know Straight Hair will definitely be on tomorrow night. Then on Friday, we will have Into the Fire with our wonderful Sid. Amazing show. If you like black metal, rock and roll, anything like that, you need to catch him. He always has some really, really cool people on there as guests. And we'll be playing a lot of underground music and things like that. Okay, so we're going to be doing some gaming. Okay, so we'll be doing some gaming tomorrow evening after Straight Hair. And then Friday, of course, is Into the Fire. Saturday, we will have the random show as well as another episode of Into the Fire. And normally we have Roots Bleed Red on Sunday. I think they may be taking a very short sabbatical, but we'll get that advertised too. But we will be having Chaos and Squeaks on Sunday, and they're going to be, I believe, doing some extra special cool stuff. So definitely check that out. And again, we'll get that all advertised, and then we come back into next week with Doomsday. He comes on around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about all kinds of cool stuff. And then on Tuesdays, we have Psychic Cindy, and she is a monster. She goes on for at least 2 hours. If you like card reading, medium, things like that, you definitely want to check her out. She's an amazing woman. And then I'll see you guys back here next Wednesday. So pleasant nightmares, everybody. Bye.